Here, go ahead.
Yeah, walk around.
Take the
Show
video.
people the
Done this
museum.
before. Mixed perspective at the museum.
That's right.
Whoa, that hurt. Right?
Show them. Just show the camera.
Look at the old cabin.
Hold it up. Wow.
Two old tortoises. Whoa, out of bed hole. Look at that book! Ah! I needed to see that picture.
I'm going back to the place I ran from. Palm trees, broken roads, desert dust bowl sun. Where the billman will call you almost every week. Which bills to pay today, what's left in the fridge to eat. Where stars frame the night.
Mister, you gonna show us your silly tail? Huh? Oh, look at your funny tail. Show us your funny tail. I've come up with a fairly cunning plan to save this Gilson snowblower. But I've got, to make it a 3.5 horsepower again, I've got one chance to make it work. The problem I'm having is the 3.5 horsepower is a 9 series engine, so a 90,000 series basically. Vertical, horizontal is potentially an issue, but we can work around that as long as we have a 90 series engine. Having said that, 3 horsepower, 80 series. Even if this thing was good, which I doubt it is, 80,000 series. 80906, perhaps. 80 series. 80 series. Not even a Briggs. Not a Briggs. Not a Briggs. Not a Briggs. Definitely not a Briggs. Nope. And nope. So all our hopes lie on this thing. And this is really just a parts nothing. This is from my buddy Tom, who I've mentioned before on the channel. He just had it laying in his shop forever. And I don't know. I mean, it's not seized, so there's that. The question is, because we don't have the shroud, we don't know what kind of engine this is. If this is 2 3/8 bore, well, we're out of luck. If it's 2 5/8 bore, we'll see. At least it's not going to take very long to find out at all, because the head bolts are already, the ones that remain, are already loose. A lot of things have to go right for this to work. Man, this thing is bad. You don't have to be very good at reading calipers to know that that might just work. It might just work. Question is, the cylinder, despite being completely filthy, looks like it's in pretty good shape. Sort of the obvious drawback that you may have noticed is that this is a horizontal crankshaft engine, but I feel like if we unbolt this, we can use it where a vertical crankshaft would go. Never mind. They're much more different than I had expected. So hot on the heels of that dramatic flop, I have 2 less than savory options. One, I can run a bit of a hone through here and try and clean that up. And I'll probably do that anyway, just because it's worth a try. Although we may have some pretty significant oil consumption. The other option is to just put a 3 horsepower engine on it. But the only vertical crankshaft engine I have, even in 3 horsepower, it's that 64 with the crank start on top, which is cool, but that engine is probably not in very good shape. More bad news. I just went through my toolbox and I think before we moved, I went, when am I ever going to hone an engine? And I think I got rid of my cylinder hone. Okay, well, I bought a hone. I've decided I'm going to hone this thing until the battery dies. I'm not going to get it perfect. There's just no way. I'm down to 1 bar here. It's a lot better. I've taken the rough edges off. It's still going to have some scoring and some damage, but, you know, I don't want to spend the money to get this bored out and then a piston and a ring and blah, blah, blah. So I'm hoping that just by smoothing it out, using the other, like the piston and ring that came with it, at least we can reduce some of the oil burning and continual damage that was going to happen. So that's the plan. It's very exciting. It is not by any means perfect. Some bad damage there. Some on the opposite side. In there. Some more there. But it's a lot better than it was. And I didn't have to spend an arm and a leg getting it machined. It's gonna be good enough. It's gonna have to be. A couple of weeks ago, Top Tech and I stopped at an estate sale just around the corner from here, and didn't find too much to come home with us, but the gentleman hosting the sale was kind enough to give Top Tech and I some old automotive magazines. He had quite a few, but these were the ones that were kind of in the best shape. He thinks they belonged to his grandfather, and I suspect he may be himself the one who's done the felt marker additions and stuff to some of these, but anyway, I thought it might be kind of interesting to take a flip through them. Maybe we'll kind of do one a week as time permits. I think I'll just go in chronological order. It is the do-it-yourself car book from Popular Science Monthly, and just judging by, you know, the cars in the ads, it's definitely 55, 56 kind of vintage. So I don't know what it says. Does it say? Aha. Copyright 1955. So let's flip through it. So here we have the Popular Science Monthly Do-It-Yourself Car Book, only 50 cents. Hundreds of ways to save money on your car, prolong its life, get top-notch performance. Things like how to adjust your distributor, how to align the front end, how to install tubeless tires. Popular Science Monthly, again, copyright 1955. Oh boy, we have all kinds of things. How to escape car troubles. Keep your heater from becoming airbound. Avoid trouble with an oil passing cylinder. How to keep an automatic choke automatic. Put a bed in your car. There's all kinds of stuff. Bell helps find short in wiring. Protect fender skirts from thieves. I don't think that's an issue anymore. How to keep hubcaps from creeping. Now you can have power brakes. What makes trouble on a long trip? Thirsty battery, loose wiring, dirty cooling system, faulty spark plugs, all kinds of things. How to siphon gas without sipping it. Having trouble with an oil passing cylinder that fouls the spark plug every few miles. To help you get home, clean the plug, replace it, and anchor the ignition cable a 1/4 inch from the plug with wire. The resulting hot spark slows soot buildup. I guarantee if you did that now, it would be check engine light city. Talking about cleaning your automatic choke, replenishing the oil in your air cleaner. What you should know about spark plugs. Nowadays, we don't get to know about spark plugs. We just put in what the manufacturer says. How to cure noisy valves. That's a fairly big job, really. Interestingly, they spell Chevy with 2 V's. I have never seen that before. Hints from the model garage. Wiring up dome lights and trunk lights. Setting the drive cables on your wipers. Molding a new battery post out of lead. Synthetic fibers have made it possible to banish the nightmare fear of sudden tire failure and sudden death on the road. Tires shown here cost $33.79 each. Allowance on old casings toward this set was $4 a piece. Shoeing the car took 19 minutes. Winter driving tips, perfect. An old blanket hung on a wire stretched across the rear of your garage will help warm up your engine in the morning. Slip pieces of cardboard under the wipers, not bad. 2 pieces of metal lath rolled up and stored in the trunk are good insurance against staying stuck in the snow or mud. 8 ways to save gasoline. Many of these have not changed. Fast driving, cowboy stops, a dirty muffler, filthy air cleaner, low tire pressure, cold engines, jet getaways. Careless choking, though, I don't think that's an issue anymore. Aligning a front end with delicate instruments and a lot of know-how. What are the instruments we're using in 1955? A gauge to measure both caster and camber, a tracking gauge. This shows us why they need alignment. How to install a front end assembly. A bolt-on job, you can do it in an afternoon. Looks like a 49 or 50 Oldsmobile. 5 years old at the time of writing. We'll just replace the whole front end on a grass and dirt driveway. Installing a rebuilt engine is a weekend project. You don't even have to put out your pipe. Straight 6. What are we working on here? 1947 Dodge sedan. A few weeks ago, when Bill's original engine had begun to show its age, 57,492 miles, he ordered a rebuilt engine from Sears Roebuck, which happens to sell more of them than any other company in the U.S. William Alstrom of Dalton, Illinois. Oh, they returned the old engine for a $23 credit. I even tell you what tools they used. 3/8 ratchet wrench with a 6-inch extension. Didn't need much. How to use your dimmer switch. Oh, this is another very dramatic story. When high beams blind you, it's perfectly acceptable to flick your own brights a couple of times to nudge the other guy's memory. But blasting with your own high beam puts you among the fools who use the highways, some of them now dead. Should your dims burn out and you still must drive, turn your lights on and off momentarily to tell an approaching driver that you have troubles and are not really the dope he may think you are. There's our coloring bandit. Washing a distributor cap thoroughly with white gasoline. How to get hot sparks oftener. Dual breaker points and a new plate may give it a shot in the arm. The truth about your brakes. Can you count on them? Are they keeping up with power? What's Detroit doing about it? Disc brakes, although understudy by many makers, are apparently not going to supplant drums in the near future. The best of them work well, but they are too expensive. Well, by the mid to late 60s, maybe even a little earlier, that was not true. Brake governors, clever little gadgets that unlock a sliding wheel to reduce swerve and crash stops, are being studied. Well, now we have ABS. So there you go. Beat up station wagon converted into a handsome pickup truck. Maybe not that practical, but it's different. Now you can have power brakes, installing a booster kit in the fender well. Basically using a vacuum booster unit. Interesting. More hints. Mount a normally closed switch on the right-hand door to warn you when it's partly unlatched. Quit skidding, build a sander. Grit poured under the rear wheels will give you traction when you need it most. This writer equipped his car for $5. Some kind of a solenoid switch, so he just dumps grit down in front of your tires. Single switch puts sand under both rear wheels. Minutes spent in gently warming a cold engine are the mark of a man who respects his bearings and cylinder walls. He who races a cold engine is descended from horsewhippers. How a windshield wiper works. Vacuum operated anyway. Don't know how well that worked. How to build a rev counter for your car. I think he just built it out of an ammeter. Ah, yeah, there we are. To foil gas thieves, bend a length of galvanized strap iron to fit the top slot of the hinge license plate and the edge of the trunk opening. The license plate cannot be removed easily without unlocking the trunk. Padlocking your fender skirts, using lipstick for lining the shape of a flange on sheet material when cutting the gasket. Retopping a convertible the easy way. Well, here we are, April. Almanac for motorists. These are the days when plenty of unhappy cars caught in heavy traffic with easy boiling antifreeze give excellent imitations of Yellowstone's Old Faithful. Wheeling along at 60 some fine spring morning, absent-minded Abner is very likely to pop open the floor ventilator for the first time since way last October. Old Abner sure deserves what he gets, 2 eyefuls of dirt and grit. Don't jeer at a woman's catch-all handbag without looking over your glove compartment. If it has no old envelopes, burned out bulbs, stale tobacco, and partly used lollipops, take a bow. Build a pair of car ramps. Starting your car in 0 weather. Frost-covered ignition, inoperative choke, dipstick oil heater, a kerosene heater, starting primer. All things to help, or a second battery. Cold motor trouble? Start your car from your kitchen. After I close a circuit running to the garage, my engine warms up as I eat breakfast. She's raring to go when I take off for work. He made a lurch switch, so if he's left the car in gear, then it kills the engine. It's got a toggle switch to turn on the ignition, a normally open push button to work the starter relay, and a pilot light to signal that the engine is running. So I believe as he gets home, he's made a connector by the gas cap under the taillight, and he just plugs it in. And in the morning, the ignition key is turned on before disconnection in order to keep the motor running. It's pretty clever. Safety belts help you drive. This I like. All 3 kids in the back seat with one safety belt. In addition to a belt across his lap, Pop straps on a shoulder harness for long journeys. Almanac for motorists. It's been colored here. March? Beware those spooks who drive serenely along with a turn signal winking away forgotten. Give them a wide berth. They may be wholly unconscious. Oh no. One of life's persistent puzzlements is why women find it so hard to keep gasoline in a car. Most of them don't even seem to see the gauge until the pointer begins nudging the pin by empty. Oh my. Rub soap inside hose ends when installing new connections between the radiator and motor block. I still do that. Making a new distributor bushing. Use the head of an old metal bed to keep the load in a pickup truck from crashing through the rear window when you stop suddenly. Shine up your car for the parade. Well, there we have it. A little flip through Popular Science Monthly's Do-It-Yourself Car Book from 1955. Next time, we'll take a look at the September 1959 issue of Popular Mechanics. Which foreign car is best for you?